Welcome back, real nerds. It's time for some real talk. This is Scott, your host, episode 2, August 10th, 2017 of Scooter's Take. Hopefully this is better than the first one, and this is worse than the third one, but let's get into it. Excuse me. It is 10 a.m. on a Thursday. I'm working with this new mic stand. Hopefully it looks a little better. Don't know, honestly, but I like it. That's all that matters. Get myself adjusted here a little bit. Gotta be comfortable when you're doing things you love to do. Alright. Let's see if we can make that work. All this episode's gonna be is me playing with this mic. So if you expected more, you came to the wrong place. I'm just kidding. Alright. A lot of good news today. A lot of interesting news today, I should say, actually. It's all good. I mean, for the most part. I mean, it really just depends on your outlook. You know what I mean? All right. Well, either way, this is our daily show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be your host each and every day. Scott, Scooter. This is Scooter's Take. Your nerdly, I'm going to keep doing it, nerdly news of the day here on twitch.tv/real nerds, real talk. If you haven't already, make sure you drop a follow. If you haven't already, make sure you go to Facebook, drop a like. If you haven't already, check out our YouTube channel and drop a subscription. It's free over on YouTube. We don't have subscriber status yet on Twitch. We'll get there someday. But hey, you can go support us by subscribing on YouTube. This episode will be up on YouTube about, halfway through today, up on there. Probably about 3 or 4 hours from now. Don't forget, today we also have Minecraft with Jenny at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to run for about 2 hours with a break in between at the hour point. So just schedule yourself for that. It should be an interesting time. I'm excited to see what she does, honestly. She's always talking about being on camera and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, let's see what happens. Screw it, It's pretty much, internet's kind of free. Why not? But I digress. Let's jump into some nerd news for August 10th, 2017. First up, something that I hold near and dear to my heart. That's why I'm going to start with it. For all of you Switch players, I'm looking at you. For all of you people who want a Switch, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at everybody. Everybody should have a Switch. Go buy a Switch. Not sponsored. Just saying. Pokemon Switch game. If you haven't heard, it's coming out. And we're not talking about a rehash. We're not talking about a remake. We're not talking about Pokemon Sun or Moon coming to the Switch. We're not talking about Pokemon Stars. Not necessarily, at least. What we're talking about is a fully designed, for the Nintendo Switch, Pokemon RPG game, just like on the DS or 3DS, I'm sorry. Scheduled to release 2018 or beyond. Probably more beyond, because apparently they are still in talks on they're trying to figure out how people play their Switch from day to day. Now, I'm sure Nintendo has a way to know what, mode you're in on the internet. They could probably gather all that data from you. So, that's coming. Problem with that is, for me, is that there's not enough people that have Switches yet. There's such a high demand that it's hard to get one. So I really hope that they pull from a really good, data group, I guess, right? Like, I play my Switch mostly in handheld mode, but I also play a decent amount in TV mode. Tabletop mode, I played only a little bit of it. But I don't think you can really tell if it's a tabletop mode. I don't know. I'm not a developer. I'm not an internet guru or whatever. But Pokemon RPG 2018 or later for the Nintendo Switch. This game is going to make the Nintendo Switch the most amazing system created ever. I remember talking about this at least once a year. Like, oh man, I wish they made a mainstream, mainstream system Pokemon game. Screw it, they can just put it on the Wii U, or they can put it on the PS4. Just sell the one game to somebody so I can play Pokemon on a big screen and go mess shit up. Can you imagine seeing fucking Pikachu or Charizard in 1080p HD, kind of like on Pokken Tournament, but in a Pokemon game? You're having a battle with some fucking Rattata, level 5, and you just blast him away with this 60 frames per second, hopefully, fire blast. That sounds awesome to me. Screw it. Ember would probably look fucking cool. Honestly, if the game sucks, it could be they could just take all the fucking shit from, like, Pokemon Sun. Like, fuck it, make Pokemon Stars. I don't even care. But, it would be cool if it was new. Give me something 8th generation. Or, like, a whole new, like, universe. Whole new universe would be even better. Like a mixed, like, take, like, all 7 generations, make a new region where there's, like, a little bit of each in there. Kind of like they kind of did when they kept going from region to region. But I mean, like, really, like, dive into it. Make kind of like, keep the Alolan region, like, how they have, like, the temperature-controlled Pokemon or whatever, where they're basically based off of their climate. I enjoyed that. I think that's cool. I mean, it's, if you think about Pokemon as if they were animals, animals adapt to their surroundings. So I completely think it makes sense to have a Pokemon who lives in, like, a Sandslash who lives in a snowy area to be an ice type. Because, over time he would adapt to a situation and become an ice type or whatever through evolution. I mean, it's Pokemon. They literally evolve. It kind of makes sense. I mean, there's no more straightforward way to put it. They literally, in video game, evolve to a different form. Like, we call that puberty, and it takes, like, fucking, like, 10 years or whatever, depending on who you are. And it's just, like, slowly evolutioning or evolving. However you want to call it. Transforming. But anyways, I'm really excited for that. I guarantee they're going to make some amiibo for it. I love amiibo. It's going to be dope. I can't wait to buy it. I'm going to be pre-ordering like 10 copies just so I can have 9 extra. Just kidding. Probably buy 2. Probably buy like a collector's edition because holy shit, first Pokemon game on a console and then one to actually play. Or I'll just buy the digital version. Who knows? They're probably going to have some cool swag to go with the games when they come out, so probably be hitting that up. Alright, well, Pokemon, you've had enough news today. Next up. So I know a lot of people who play Borderlands, love Borderlands, or who love Borderlands. I personally cannot play Borderlands because of the art style. I don't know if I've never heard anybody else have the same problem with this game, but the art style in Destiny. Funny that I said that though. The art style in Borderlands and Borderlands 2 and all those games, like, it messes with my eyes. I can't play the game long enough to really enjoy it because, like, after playing it for maybe 5-10 minutes, I'm just like, this art style is just killing my eyeballs. I get like a headache. I'm not one for little dumb shit like that, but like that game it's the only game I've ever played that ever done that to me. But Borderlands cannot do it. But the people who brought you Borderlands are not bringing you a Borderlands 3. If you were ready for that, it's not coming. Not right now, at least. But what is coming is their new game in development that is only it's codenamed 1v1. So there's no title yet. It's a working title, 1v1. It's a 1v1 first-person shooter made by the people who brought you Borderlands. It's a 1v1 first-person shooter. How many people out there are going to play 1v1 first-person shooters? 1v1 is scary. Have you played 1v1 Rocket League? We were just talking about yesterday. It's fucking scary. Have you ever played 1v1 on Overwatch? I mean, you gotta be pretty good. Like, I've only won maybe a couple times. I mean, I've only played it like 12 times on the game mode, but you gotta know what you're doing. But this is like a whole game, based around that point of 1v1 fighting or whatever, first-person shooter, so you're going to go out and try and kill them. Hopefully there's more mechanics to it. I'm guessing that they're not just going to be like, oh, here's 2 guys, go, and they start on, one side of the map, the other side of the map, and they're like, all right, go kill each other. Ooh, shit. But, because, I mean, Call of Duty, it's basically like, take a Call of Duty map, throw 2 players, and be like, all right, go kill each other. Like, that's not fun. So I'm guessing that this game will have more mechanics than that to make it more interesting. But, I don't like Borderlands already, so they might just be screwing us. And hopefully it doesn't look like Borderlands. That would really piss me off, because then I wouldn't be able to play it. I'd be like, all right, somebody else got to play it. Tell me how it is. But it can't be a Borderlands fan. It has to be somebody, who's, like, non-biased. Because if I give it to a Borderlands fan, it looks like Borderlands and it plays fun, he'll be like, oh, yeah, Borderlands. I love this game. But it's not Borderlands. But my opinion is skewed because I like Borderlands. I'm like, I hate Borderlands. Fuck off. But speaking of Destiny, Destiny's coming out soon. It's not in the news today, but I wanted to say Destiny 2 is coming out soon. I'm going to be playing it. We're probably going to have a whole show around the game with me and Joe. So stay tuned for that information. Either way. Next up, Nintendo again. Alright, so Metroid Samus Returns is the new Metroid game coming out. It's the first Metroid game coming out in a long time. Like an actual Metroid game. Now this is, in a way, a rehash or a reboot of Metroid 2. And this comes out on September 15th of this year. So it does, I've seen some stuff. It is not a complete rehash, it's not a complete reboot. It's not just like that. It's not like an HD remix or whatever. They're basically, it has some similarities to Metroid 2 from back in the day, but they have, remade some stuff. It's not, you can't, like, if you memorize, like, how to finish the game from start to finish, with your eyes closed, you wouldn't be able to finish this game. It's not a one-for-one with, like, updated graphics, There's a lot of cool new abilities, I think, I've actually never played Metroid 2. I probably should. Because I'm buying, when Metroid comes out, Metroid 4 comes out for Switch, I already have it pre-ordered, so I'm going to be playing that. So I probably should get more involved in the Metroid system. Probably the reason I didn't play it as much, or at all really, because I played Metroid on GameCube once. I didn't own it, my buddy did. That was fun. It was. But I think the big reason I never got into Metroid is because there was never, like, enough of the games coming out, there wasn't one every couple of years or whatever, like Halo. Like, I was big into Halo, and Halo kept coming out with new games. There's like 8 or 9 of them now? Shit. But either way, Metroid Samus Returns is on the Nintendo 3DS. Alright. I believe this is another 2D title, on the 3DS, like Hey Pikmin was. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But it really doesn't matter to me. I don't really play with the 3D on usually. Some people like it. Most people don't. I know that. But the amiibo that are coming out for this game. There's 2 amiibos coming out for this game. You have one Crouching Samus. Looks amazing. Looks dope. It's got the big shoulder pad things. I don't know what the suit's called, but it might be the fusion suit. I'm about to talk about the fusion suit in a second. So if you know what that is, all right. But two amiibos. One is a Crouching Samus, and the other one is a Metroid. So the alien kind of like breaking out of this glass thing or breaking into it, I don't know, but it looks awesome. And like the jellyfish looking part, like the bulb, it's like actually squishy, like in the amiibo, so it's not like hard plastic. You can actually it's like tactile. You can touch it and like move it around a little bit. So that's pretty cool. Definitely gonna get them here. You're gonna see them on the channel at some point when they come out. They're already pre-ordered for sure. But the big thing with this is that, so everybody knows about DLC these days. Amiibo in general usually unlock or give you some sort of DLC style of gameplay. Like in Zelda, every amiibo gave you something. If there was Zelda amiibo, they gave you Zelda style things like weapons, armor, blah blah blah. And if they were like a different amiibo, they still give you like food or stuff like that you can just get. But it was still helped out a lot because you could sell it or whatever. So we're not new to the amiibo thing. Like amiibos are it's basically DLC, but you also get like a cool figurine, right? So, and DLC in general terms is just downloadable content you pay for to expand your gameplay. Except in 2017, that really just means we're going to sell you a half of a game for $60 and then charge you a DLC for the rest of the game we already actually made. Just my opinion. I still buy the DLCs because I'm a sucker, but I probably shouldn't do that. Make our voices heard. Anyways, the amiibos for Samus, or Metroid Samus Returns, coming out September 15th, are going to unlock, a couple different things. Concept arts, music, stuff like that. Little things that, if you're a huge fan, you're going to like. But then there's also another thing it's going to unlock. It's called Fusion Mode. And you'll have access to the Fusion Suit. Now, I'm actually going to bring up what the Fusion Suit looks like because I want to know. Notice me, okay, I just saw the chat, my bad. Notice me, my handsome senpai. I notice you. And I appreciate the senpai. It's awesome. If you say something else, I'll definitely answer you. I just get in my, getting in that mode, just like, news. But yeah, let's look up. I'm gonna look it up. Fusion Suit. It's probably not even spelled the way Fusion spelled, because video game, right? Fusion Suit Metroid. But this, it's gonna unlock the Fusion Suit, the Fusion mode, which apparently is more difficult than hard mode. There is a hard mode in the game, and that is less hard than the Fusion mode. Alright, the Fusion Suit is fucking cool as fuck. I love blue, and this shit is awesome. We'll get to the point where I can put this shit on the fucking, on this, so you guys can see what I'm looking at. We're not there yet. We're not that cool yet, but we'll get that cool. It takes time. But, if everybody has a fucking phone, or whatever. I mean, you're watching this on something. Google it if you don't know what it looks like. It looks awesome. Like, scary fucking shark, Samus motherfucker, coming at you. Like, this looks demon-like, but like a good demon. But yeah, Samus. That's what Amiibo do. And you know what? That's a big discussion. Do you buy Amiibo so that you can have that extra stuff that you want in the game, or do you think that developers or whatever, or video producers, production companies, video games, blah blah blah, shouldn't be doing this, or whoever makes the decisions on doing this, it should just be you buy a game, you buy a game. I'm kind of torn on that. I don't like paying for DLC. I don't necessarily like paying for Amiibo. I like the Amiibo. I don't want to pay for them. It'd be great if they were free, but I like Amiibo, and I like having them. They're a cool collector. I don't keep them in the boxes. I don't think that's like, for me. I'm not trying to sell them later. I like them. I want to put them on display. We're actually gonna have a display up here at some point of Amiibo. Thank you, Lily, if you're making it. But do you succumb to that? Do you buy the DLC? Do you buy the Amiibos that unlock more game content? It's a hard thing, because if you don't do it, you're not going to get that game content, and then is the industry going to change because you didn't buy it? And you got to think about, you got to get enough people really on board with this to make an impact. So maybe we'll start a movement one day. You know what? 1 year from now, movement date. Put it in the books. Moving on, though. Overwatch. I'm an Overwatch player. Not the greatest. Not even the most consistent. I played not as much as most people. But I know most Overwatch players are huge in Overwatch. It's basically like League of Legends, If you play Overwatch, you're playing, a lot. I know people who play probably way too much. More than they should. You know who I'm talking to. Alright. But Overwatch. So if you don't know, if you're just kind of like a novice at Overwatch, or you only play it casually like I do, the Overwatch summer event has started. Now, what this means is that you're going to have summer-themed skins and all that stuff. There's an update to Lucio Ball, the game mode. But cool thing is, some of the skins include McCree is a lifeguard. I'm just saying, that sounds cool as hell. A McCree lifeguard? I'm going to come shoot you with my 6-shooter in red shorts and no shirt. I don't know, I haven't actually seen the skin. He might have a shirt on. But I'm just saying, it's like a Baywatch character with long hair. So Pamela Anderson, but with no breasts and a penis. I assume that McCree has a penis. I don't know. Coming at you with a 6-shooter, trying to kill you. And having a way to do it with, pinpoint accuracy. If that doesn't sound deadly, I don't know what does. So, that's one of them. And then, of course, most people have already seen or heard of the beautiful Widowmaker in her bikini. She's in a bikini, Widowmaker. The one that's really tall, big ass. Yeah, that one. I still can't get over the fact that she's, for a cartoon character or an animated character, she's obviously very good looking. But she's a spider. She's a spider person. I don't like spiders. So, she's pretty much off the table to be my wife or waifu, whatever you want to call it. Can't do it. Spider. She's a spider person. Obviously she's not really a spider, but fuck. She's a spider. I don't want to be with that. I can't do that. What if she kills... spiders kill their mates a lot of the times. No. It's bad news bears. She's better off as a friend. You friend zone Widowmaker. Quick and in a hurry. If you're already involved with that girl, you might want to get out before, she kills you with her sniper rifle that doubles as a machine gun. Either way, the summer event's going to go through August 29th. And good news is, if you missed last year's summer event gear, the skin and all that, you can actually get them this year at a reduced price. I don't know what the prices are, but go check it out. If you wanted, if you missed out on some stuff from last year and you were really upset, get them this year. A couple bucks, whatever. I'm sure it's not ridiculously expensive. Hopefully it's not ridiculously expensive. Blizzard's pretty good about stuff. So, check it out. I'm going to drink some of this Red Bull because my mouth is dry. And Red Bull gives me energy. It runs through my veins like blood. It probably is my blood, actually. If I cut my hand right now, it might come out like a weird yellowy tint like Red Bull. It sounds like more like urine. But either way, that's cool. All right. So, a little bit of movie news for you guys. Wonder Woman. We all love it, or at least I did. A lot of my friends liked it. I haven't heard anybody who didn't like it yet. I've heard some people who had some concerns about, not concerns, but they had some opinions on it, but weren't like, oh, that was a bad movie, or that was something I wouldn't see again, or that wasn't worth the money. Because that's usually how our conversations go. Was it worth paying for the ticket to go see it, or should you have waited, or blah, blah, blah. That's kind of how we divide it up. Obviously, I loved Wonder Woman. There were some things I would have changed, obviously, but it's a movie, it's art, it's not going to be personalized for me, but that's just my opinion, right? But on a more positive end of that, Wonder Woman has now reached $400 million in North America. $400 million in box office sales. $400 million. It's like number 2 for the year in revenue. And it has reached a staggering $800 million worldwide. $800 million. Can you imagine earning $800 million? I can't. I can't imagine. $800 sounds good right now. Shit. $8, I can go get myself a sandwich. 800 million. That's like 800 sandwiches. Or 800 million sandwiches. Not 800 sandwiches. That sounds stupid. I don't know. You do the math. But yeah, great for them. Congratulations to everybody who played in Wonder Woman, who was part of that process. Great movie. Thank you for that. But the other thing is that they're also trying to get it nominated for an Oscar. And so, Suicide Squad got an award. So, I kind of feel like Wonder Woman has a shoe-in for this. Suicide Squad wasn't that great. And it got an award for like art, or like makeup and stuff like that. I don't remember. It was about the costumes and stuff. But fuck, Suicide Squad got an Emmy or whatever, or an Oscar. Wonder Woman deserves at least 2. Gal Gadot was amazing. Great Wonder Woman. Old dude from Star Trek. Can't remember his name right now. Love that guy. I can't believe I can't remember his name, but he did a great job in that movie. That was very, very good. Hey, just give him like 4 Oscars. Fuck it. It's not like you pay per Oscar, right? I'm just shaking the shit out of this mic. Oh man. All right. Apparently I need more Red Bull. I'm yawning. Not sponsored by Red Bull. I just really like Red Bull. Not sponsored by anybody. It's sponsored by me. That's what it's sponsored by. All right. Game of Thrones. So if you haven't heard, Game of Thrones this last Sunday. I actually haven't seen the newest episode yet. I'm sorry. So apparently there's some hype about it. I will watch it soon. Probably the next day or so. I have class Monday through Friday, so it's a little hard. Or Monday through Thursday. But Game of Thrones has now reached another viewer count threshold. They broke, holy fucking A in numbers. So they counted 10.2 million viewers on the last Game of Thrones episode on Sunday. And this is not counting streamers, to include HBO Go, HBO Now, stuff like that. We're talking about live television. They didn't even include DVR, DVR. DVR, is that what it's called? Yeah, DVR. Yeah. I don't have cable. I have internet. But Yeah, this is just including, this is literally just 10.2 million people on Sunday night or whatever time it was in your time zone sat down and watched this episode. That's insane. Like, I mean, consider the amount of people who watched it early when it leaked. I mean, there's probably at least another like 5 mil watching that episode. I'm guaranteed. My only thing is like, there's 100-some million people in the United States. That number should be way higher. Game of Thrones is amazing. Don't give up on life and watch some Game of Thrones. They had dragons. I love dragons. I want like a little pet Spyro. That'd be awesome. We go on adventures. We would. He'd be my best friend. Next on TV shows, American Horror Story. So there's been some controversy about the American Horror Story cult season coming up in September, I believe it is. September 5th comes out. And this is like season fucking 7 or something, 6. Yeah, something like that. But there was some controversy about when I believe the creator or the writer or whatever came out and said, this is going to be about the election, blah, blah, blah. But apparently it's been confirmed that only the 2016 election will be basically portrayed in the show is in the beginning. So it's more or less just a jumping off point to whatever nonsense American Horror Story cult will be about. I mean, it's American Horror Story. It could literally start out about fucking teddy bears, and it can end up being like some crazy fucking infection that kills only rabbits and makes you have like AIDS dick by the end of it, with like aliens who only have sex with females who are older than the age of 80. I mean, it's American Horror Story. What the fuck do you expect? There's only like so much you can really like. You can't really call it. I bet this is gonna happen. I mean, because American Horror Story is like, it's fucking insane. It's a great show. I actually wish I watched all the seasons. I only watched maybe about half the seasons. Some of them I just didn't like the fucking carnival one or like the carny one. I couldn't. I watched like 3 or 4 episodes of that. I was like, this is not good. Just wasn't my style. Which is a good thing about American Horror Story is that every season is completely different. So if you don't like witches from Coven, you can watch the carnival one. Like my favorite to this day is still Asylum, season 2, right here. Great season. It was the first season I watched from beginning to end, start to finish, and it was awesome. Season 1 was decent. People say season 1 was like the best. It was decent. Yeah, it was alright. But so if you're worried about whatever side of politics you're on, I'm not gonna get into politics about this, but if you're worried about I'm not gonna watch that because of this, blah blah. At least you can kind of sleep with some peace of mind that you can still watch the show if you just get over the fact that it's in the beginning. I don't know, they might make little tidbits about it, because in American Horror Story sometimes they do flashbacks or whatever. But either way, don't miss out just because of your political views, or just watch it in secret so the person who really cares doesn't see it. You can watch on your phone at work. Nobody will know. I won't tell anybody. It'll be our secret. Shh. Love me. All right. Next up, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So I think I talked about this game yesterday a little bit, but this is a big game. A lot of people love this game a lot. So first-person server is now available in all modes. What this means for you? It means that first-person shooters are now available in all game modes. In all modes, yeah. First-person servers. So this game is like $30, $20, something like that. I'm gonna pick it up soon. We're gonna do some gameplay on here. So yeah, if you haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet, if you're not ready to throw out the $30, don't worry. We're gonna be bringing it to you at some point in the next couple weeks. Because I'm very interested in this game. It just looks. I've only seen like gameplay for like maybe 5-10 minutes at a time, but this game looks like fun. So I like fun. So I want to get in on the fun. So hopefully you guys can join us for those streams of gameplay. Or we might just wait for it to come out on Xbox. I might just do that because at least if it's on Xbox, we can have friends play and blah blah blah. So look out for that. When it releases on Xbox, day one we'll be playing that for sure. Or at least I will be. All right. PlayerUnknown American Horror Story out of the way. Let's check the chat real quick. Chat's good. By the way, I want to try to figure out how to say this. Them El Grok? I Well, I noticed you, so either way. All right. Next up on news, Super Mario Odyssey. So, we always got to bring it back to Nintendo. But Super Mario Odyssey is not going to be rated E for everyone. That's some pretty interesting news, seeing as how it's a Mario game for Nintendo. And I'm going to leave my opinion for why I think this is good or bad until I'm done talking about this, but Mario Odyssey is going to be rated E10. Excuse me. It's going to be rated E10. Okay, so what does that mean for you and me, right? For me, it means a slightly less edited game, I guess you could say. Not more of an adult feel, because obviously it's only E10. But, you're going to have things that are not just generalized to, 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds, where it's it's definitely a kid's game or a child's game. Obviously 10 is still a child's age, but it gives you a little bit more. It gives them a little bit more, room to play with when they're taking things out or putting things in, because they can do more with that. So, I think you've already figured out what my opinion is, obviously. I think that a higher rating is good. Maybe not for business, maybe not for Nintendo, but for me. For you, depending on who you are, this could be bad or good. If you don't mind having a slightly higher rating on the scale and letting your kids play, then you should be fine. Or, for you, the adult, whatever. My kid's 6 years old. I almost forgot. Isn't that sad? She's 6 years old. It's like they grow every year. Every year they just gain an age. Fuck. Anyways. 6 years old. She plays Minecraft. Minecraft, I believe, is E for everyone. Might be E10. I don't know. But she plays Minecraft already. Mario Odyssey is going to be a Mario open world RPG game like Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, all those games, right? None of those games have ever shown me a reason that a 6-year-old can't, play them because of content, because of something that would, hurt their brains or make them evil children or whatever. Not giving her, Dark Souls. Dark Souls gives me nightmares. I'm just saying. I can only imagine. She might just end up laughing. I don't know. She's kind of sadistic. In a good way, though, right? Yeah. In a good way. But, E10. She's 6 years old. It's 4, it's a 4-year difference, but, these days, the lines are so blurred. Like I said, I'm not giving her, Call of Duty, even though she has actually watched me play Call of Duty. But, I feel like there's actually more violence or whatever in the Call of Duty single-player mode, the campaign. And obviously, unless you can hear my mic or my headset, obviously there's probably a little more action going on there with cursing, but just the action of shooting simulated guns, and it's not like there's huge. It's not like you're watching Gears of War. Gears of War, there's blood splatter and all this cool stuff. Call of Duty's more oh, I shot you, you died. No, respawn. So, that's my opinion. Let me know your opinions, please. Let me know. Drugative asks, how long have you been streaming? Well, that question's a little hard for me to answer. How long today, or how long in general? You let me know the question, and I'll answer that. But actually, I'll just answer both. How long have I been streaming? I have been streaming today for 33 minutes or so, 35 minutes. Streaming in general, Real Nerds Real Talk, or RNRT, has only been streaming consistently on a schedule since yesterday. Yeah, today's Thursday. So yeah, Tuesday night. So, but we've been streaming under the name Real Nerds Real Talk for about 2 months now, but it's only been Saturdays here and there. We finally got our studio and everything, which is basically just a room in my apartment or my condo, but either way. But I have also been streaming. I streamed a little bit with some friends on my personal channel about a year ago. We played Dungeons and Dragons a lot, mostly, actually. And my video game content, I never had enough time to do it all, so. But we always had the weekend games or daily games or whatever, or weekday games of D&D. So we'd stream those. It was pretty low quality, but people actually liked it. Just couldn't keep it up. I was in the military, scheduling was hard. Life just gets in the way sometimes. But now this isn't my full-time job. I do it pretty much full-time. But I still go to college, trying to finish my degree. I still have to do this. I have to work at this. I have to work at other things. But if that answers your question, or I hope that answers your question. If you have any more questions, just let me know. I'll be checking the chat periodically. back to the news. We actually only have one more thing left that I found. So, last thing of the day, and actually this is kind of, I left this for last because it's the most exciting to me. So, esports, we all love it, or at least I do. I shouldn't say we all, I just generalize everybody, but you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna generalize as fuck. We all love esports. And if you don't, you should. Esports, if you don't know what it is, esports is video game as a sport, or video game sports, or video game tournaments, whatever you want to call it. League of Legends has them all the fucking time. They have announcers, like it's all, the whole nine, ESPN, holy shit, basically. Overwatch, all that stuff. They all have leagues, whatever. Call of Duty is esport. Fuck it, there's probably a Galaga esport out there. Who knows? But it's coming to the Olympics. Maybe. What does this mean? This means that video games might, or esports in general, or video games in general, might actually, because, if it gets accepted into the Olympics, and they allow it it's being talked about for the 2024 games in Paris, France, obviously, this would validate video games as a sport, or playing video games as a sport, or esports as a sport, whatever you want to call it. Putting it in the Olympics is, that's the epitome of all athleticism or whatever, blah, blah, of competition. If it's in the Olympics, you can't really say it's not a sport anymore. Now, the question is, do you believe it's a sport? Do you believe that competitive video gaming is a sport? It's obviously not a very, it is physical to a point. You have to, hand-eye coordination, blah, blah. You obviously don't need to go lift or train like that. But it's a lot of mental, like being good at a video game isn't easy. Maybe for some people it is, but like for most people it takes practice. You have to train to become good at a video game. So, in your opinion, in your mind, is a video game or playing video games for competition, is that a sport? My opinion, yeah, I think it is. Not to say cheerleading doesn't. Cheerleading does take physical. It is a physical thing. First off, let me say, I think cheerleading is a sport. So let me start with that before people get mad, or not mad. Either way, I think cheerleading is a sport. It takes training, takes agility, endurance, blah blah, like that stuff. Like I can't do that shit, and I personally think that anything that somebody can't do, anything that somebody can't do for the most part, like out of the box. Like I can't go run 10 miles in a record time. I can go run 10 miles, but it's gonna take me 2 hours, and I'm gonna hate my life afterwards. But to be able to run 10 miles at a fast enough pace or whatever to compete with other people, that takes discipline, that takes training, that takes time. That's a job, basically. That's your life. So if video games is that for you, then I believe that you're in a sport. You're in a professional. You're at a professional level. That's what I would call it. Professional level. So you keep on, if you're doing that, you keep on going. You keep on trucking. And hopefully we'll see you in the Paris games. Hopefully I'm fucking an announcer at the Paris games. We got, what is it? It's 2017, we got 7 years. Let's make it happen. In 7 years, I could totally do that. Let's get me there. I'll bring you all with me. We'll be like, no, we can't put the Olympics on television. It has to be on Twitch. Why? Because I said so. But, alright, well that is unfortunately all the news we have today. Like I said before, this show is about an hour. We've been on for about, 40-something minutes. I'll do a couple of little plugs here real quick, and then we'll get off the air. But if you're just joining us, or if you don't know yet, this is the daily episode, weekday episodes, Monday through Friday. It's called Scooter's Take. Scooter's Take is a show where I sit here most of the time just by myself, bring you the daily nerd news, the nerdly news, as I like to say, that I can find. Obviously I'm not getting emails from Ubisoft or whatever, right? Oh, by the way, Ubisoft, new studio in Stockholm, so just heads up. But I have to find the stuff, and I have to blah blah. So 10 and 11, come join us. Stop in early, leave early, come back, whatever. But 10 to 11, Monday through Friday, you can expect to see me at least until the fall semester starts for school. It might get adjusted to the left or the right, but it'll still happen every day. at some point in the day. But for right now, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, join me here for Scooter's Take here on twitch.tv/Real Nerds Real Talk. Now, here's the thing. If you miss one of our episodes, you can always go to YouTube. Now, we don't have a YouTube URL yet. That's like youtube.com/Real Nerds Real Talk. You know, it's youtube.com/ a fuck ton of letters and numbers, because we haven't been on YouTube long enough and don't have enough subscribers to have a personalized URL. So right now it's just, youtube.com, blah, blah. But in the Twitch tabs, if you go down and you like where it says the schedule and yada, 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 there's a YouTube button. At least there should be. No, there is. Go ahead and click that. That'll bring you to our channel. You can subscribe there, check out our videos. This episode, like every other episode that comes up here on Twitch, will be posted to YouTube, a couple hours later. I edit them out a little bit, make them a little cleaner. But yeah, they'll be on YouTube, so you can always watch over there. Drop a subscription over there. Drop a follow here on Twitch. It helps us out. If you're feeling froggy, you can leave a tip. I mean, that's not necessary at all. I'd rather have you say something about the stream than give me $1 at this point. We're still pretty new. But if you feel like dropping $1, go ahead, drop $1. I would also recommend, if you'd rather drop $1 over at Patreon. We have a Patreon site, patreon.com/RNRT. The channel's there's also a link down there. But you can drop $1 there. You can drop $3 there, whatever. But that helps us out dearly, and then you also get incentives for doing those different tiers over there. So please go check it out. Tell your friends. Share this video. Like this video when it comes up on YouTube. I love you. And you know what? To quote a great movie, Pitch Perfect. By the way, huge fan of Pitch Perfect. Anna Kendrick, I love you. I love you, awesome nerds. Stay nerdy. Don't forget your friends. And remember, it's never about what game you're playing. It's about who you play it with. Stay America, America.